Hey everybody. Um, I just wanted to jump on this and quickly kind of demo this out. I've been playing around with Claude AI and Docker MCP servers. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to just try some stuff out itself. I'm going to just share my screen and I'm going to set this up in here. So I have Docker installed on my laptop, and I'm going to inside my Docker install the AI tool catalog. So it's pretty straightforward to do that itself. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, once I install this, I'm going to configure it so I can use Claude on my desktop to be able to make changes to hopefully my FortiGate firewall itself. So I'm going to open up Claude. Perfect. I have Claude here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my AI tools. I'm going to go to clients and I'm going to connect my Claude environment. So when I connect this, I have to, it tells me to restart and reload the catalog. So I don't have anything configured. So let's quit and reload the catalog. So now when I bring Claude back, I have a couple different options. I have my MCP tools are available. If I look at my Docker containers, it built some MCP stuff that it needed to do. And when I look at my AI tool catalog, I see some apps in here that I can use itself. So let's zoom in. So just by looking at this, the first thing I'm going to see is GitHub, and I have GitHub configured. For GitHub, all I did is put in my personal token. Other tools that I'm seeing in this catalog is things like curl. I have curl. It means I could do a lot of fun, amazing things. So I installed curl on here. Once I've installed those applications, I could see that when I log into my Claude environment, let's make this up. I can see that my MCP or the available MCP tools are here. Create a branch, GitHub, create some repositories, all these kind of fun things per se. So what I want to do is be able to make some changes. Oops. To my FortiGate device, and let's see if this will actually even work. I know I've tested this with F5, and it works very well. Like for example, on my F5, if I want to use curl, so let's just why don't I just do this? Let me open up. Okay, so I have a brand new F5 virtual edition deployed in here. Right, there it is. So it's right here. So there's nothing configured on this device. Let me jump into it, and because I have curl configured, what I want to do is let's see if I can make all this work. All right, let's configure basic F5 VIP on my F5 that's hosted on 172.16.10.10. I'm just going to give it my credentials. I'd like to integrate this with the Vault later on. And I want to build HTTPS, or sorry, let's just build a basic 80. I'm going to build a virtual server that will load balance on port 80 with the following IP, 192.168.100.10. And I want to add 3 pool members. That will be 192.168.100 dot, or let's say 10.10, 192.168.10.20, 192.168.10.30, running on port 80. I want to use at least load balancing as my load balance method, and I want an HTTP health monitor deployed. All right, can you do this with a curl command? All right, let's try it out. Just let's do the F5 stuff because I think it's kind of neat. So, all right, cool. Here's the breakdown of the configuration. All right, yeah, that's what I wanted. But can you use my MCP server curl to do this? All right, perfect. So now it's going to initiate it. Do I not have this connected? Curl? No. All right, let's try that again. Do I not have curl running? I do. Curl. All right, let's restart this just to see if it works better. Clients, settings, restart, and let me restart. Claude. All right, let's try this again. All right, I want to use curl to deploy an F5 virtual server on my F5. Management IP 172.16.10.10. Username admin. Password. I want the curl command to build my VIP on IP address 192.168.100.10 with 3 pool members. 192.168.100.30, 192.168.100.31, 192.168.100.32 on port 80. Let's just do that. Let's see what we got here. All right, perfect. There we go. That worked. So now we're going to allow our MCP Docker tool to come into the chat and allow it access. So first, let's check if the F5 API is accessible. Yeah, it's accessible. Awesome. Now let's create the virtual server. Perfect. All right, so verify the pool members that were created for the virtual server. We can click on here and see the curl commands to create the pools. Great. Create the virtual servers. Here's the commands. So the configuration has been successfully applied to our F5 big IP. So let's give that a look. We're going to log into our F5 and bam, here it is. So it built the VIP, built the pools, HTTP health monitor with least load balancing, Let's see if we um, can we use the curl and, again and change the load balance method to least connections. I don't know. Let's see if that will work. All right, so we're going to run the curl command. We verified the change, and perfect. So now let's refresh our page. And now, look, the F5 that we have configured is running in least load balance. That's awesome. All right, let's see if we can do things with a FortiGate device. So I have my FortiGate firewall configured, and I want to create a REST API token. I'm going to use it using curl. My credentials are root. Let's see, we log into our FortiGate. Actually, let me give it a token first. Let me do that. So I'm just going to log into a FortiGate device. I got a REST API profile already. I have a REST API key, so let's just use this. Let's generate a new key. Generate, boom. All right. So I have a FortiGate device, HTTPS 172.16.10.1 with my API token. Sure. I want to, let's go. I want to use curl command to configure an address group on my FortiGate device 172.16.10.1 with an API token this, and I want to build an address group named I don't know, MCP demo with the following subnet 172.16 to yeah 172.16.31.0.0/. Let's see if this will do. All right, sure. Let's help to create that address group. All right, we'll start our MCP server. Pretty cool. Here is the curl command to connect. We're going to run our curl MCP Docker. Great. I've successfully created both the address object and the address group on my FortiGate firewall. Here's also the curl command that was initiated to create the address groups and include the subnet. Here's the curl command that we've done, and the configuration has been applied successfully. So let's log into our FortiGate device and go to addresses. And there it is. That's pretty good. That's pretty neat. What else can we do in here? Can we curl the FortiGate firewall to find out what version of code it's running? All right, let's make it happen. All right, look at that. So it executed a command. So this version is running a FortiGate ADF, correct? The host name, version, build, and build number is all there. Perfect. It gives me the output. I wonder if I can you So use curl to get the what do I want to get? I don't have a lot of firewall policies. Um, yeah, sure. Can you use curl to get the firewall policies on my FortiGate and output them for me? Perfect. So anything I can curl, I can make it happen. So there's really two policies that have helped me with this itself. So now imagine I have my FortiGate device, I have my F5 firewall. I can then make a curl call, um, and hopefully, the vendors build out more things, or me or other people build out more things. And now I can have my local MCP server talk to Claude to help me get this data about my infrastructure to see, what are the NATs, what are the policies configured, what are the changes even on my F5, and what policies are on here. So that's pretty neat. Um, I'm really liking this. I wonder if I could do something else like, can you can we do a curl and export the configurations of my FortiGate device and create a repo GitHub repo named FortiGate config and create a GitHub repo named FortiGate config and export the configuration to it in a README file. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's try it out. So I want to retrieve the configuration of my FortiGate. Cool. I can get all that. Now it gets the interface configs. Now let's get the firewall policies. Awesome. I wonder if it's able to actually do that. That'd be kind of neat. Yeah, I'm going to allow the tool. So now we're going to create a GitHub repo in my own personal GitHub account. And we're going to upload this to a README file. Sure, let's take a look at it. So now it's documenting my entire the configuration I asked it for my FortiGate firewall and in a README file. I think that's pretty cool. Now let's push this to my GitHub repo. I don't have that GitHub repo available. So we'll create my GitHub repo. It should. Yep. All right. Allow it to talk to GitHub. So now let's create what it says. Let's create another file to store a raw JSON data. Sure, even better. Grab the JSON data of it. What was the GitHub repo that I was gonna send it? Did it say? Scroll on. I'm asking it to do a lot. It's getting a little slow. And I think just alone, this being able to interact with my local machines is pretty cool. Um, feel like my CPU is going up. All right, cool. Also adding the firewall policies. Perfect. I believe hear my fan on my CPU going off. Uh, so now let's create that repository. I wonder if it's able to do that. So, so we created the GitHub repo called FortiGate config. We used curl commands to retrieve the configuration. Um, we organized the configuration into structured markdowns. Perfect. And here is the repo. Some issues here. Let's see if that works. Boom. Yeah, it actually it did. So let me just show that to you right here. Um, so that's pretty neat. So I, in a couple minutes, was able to I installed Claude, set up my Docker MCP server, install curl, install Git, connect it to my FortiGate and F5 environment, be able to deploy configurations to my FortiGate firewall, be able to create a backup configuration of my existing FortiGate firewall, include all the information about the firewall that I requested, um, upload it to a README file so it's easy for me to document and understand. It actually even hid the API keys inside of Git because Git won't allow me to do it. Then it uploaded the configuration files that I have on my FortiGate, um, those address groups that was created in a JSON, the firewall policies I asked for, and the system configurations of my FortiGate. I don't know, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna continue playing around with this, see what other tool sets I'd love to um, get integration with with Terraform, with GitHub, with F5, with FortiGate, to be able to not only build an entire application suite in my own local lab, but integrate with tool sets like Vault to be able to grab the secrets from there, retrieve all the data to build out what I want, or even to troubleshoot. 100%, I'm sure I can troubleshoot this using curl to get whatever I want from the logs or output of those devices. But anyways, I just want to share that with the team, um, and with the community. Hopefully you like it. Please like and subscribe. Thanks a lot.